Hey guys, welcome to the White Van Podcast. I'm Gabriel.
Jeremiah.
All right, off to good old Blythe, California.
Yep.
Um,
We are picking up food for ourselves and for the youth, and cleaning supplies and all that good stuff.
so, what do you got? What do you got to say today?
So have you been following this Trump impeachment stuff?
I heard it was about this Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't look really deep into it. I know something about Biden,
Yeah.
and his son. That's all I know.
So something happened a while back while Joe Biden was the vice president, and his son had some trouble in Ukraine, and somehow we know them. He'll just pass us by. And so, yeah. So, anyways, Joe Biden was able to get his son off from these charges, whatever they were. And some people are like, "Well, that's kind of shady stuff, right?" So Trump calls the Ukraine president. They just had this was back in like March or something like that, or earlier than that. And he calls him up and he congratulates him for winning, and then he tells him, we've done a lot of stuff for you, you've done stuff for us. I'm not saying that it's reciprocal, and there have been some charges of like corruption or something, and people, things like Biden's son. You need to look into that. And so back in like March, I guess I want to say Washington Post, but it might have been Wall Street Journal, I don't know, one of those newspapers, they came up with how this could be construed as political power against your political rivals, right? Using your political power against political rivals. But nothing came of it. And then, like a week ago, it like blew up. And that's when like all the Democrats are calling for impeachment. And
Nancy Pelosi's the one who brought it forward, right?
Well, her group, the Democrats, wanted it, and so she's actually been fighting against it because she knows it's a dumb thing. Because the majority, at least what the polls say, the majority of people do not want impeachment. And so she's been fighting it, but now she's like got no choice because the majority of her group wants to go forward with it. So that's what's going on. But the problem is they released the transcript today, and because what was being said was that he was like pushing the Ukrainian president to do it, kind of like, "Hey, we do stuff for you. You need to do this for me," type of stuff. But in reality, it was like, "Hey, would you mind looking into this? Do us a favor and look into this," because people are wondering. And there's nothing from the Ukrainian president. In fact, he came out even several days ago, and said he doesn't feel pressured to do anything. He never felt pressured. And so it's like this weird, like, they want to move forward with impeachment, and they're looking for anything they can do. And even if they do impeachment, if the House passes impeachment, the Senate won't go for it because the Republicans own the Senate. So, anyways, so that's the situation. The sitch.
What do you think? What do you think is going to be the next? I guess thing that they're going to try to get Trump impeached by.
Well, I think they're going to move forward with this.
Oh, you think they're still going to continue forward with this?
Oh yeah. I think they're going to move forward with this. And I think what they're going to I think what's going to bite them in the butt is there's a lot of Democrats that are from blue states that flipped for Trump. And I think when we go into this next election, they're going to get ousted.
You think so?
Yeah. Because one of the things that what was interesting about the 2016? What was interesting about the 2016 election was that those states flipped for Trump, and that's when you had the House and the Senate both going for Trump, right? Or both going for Republicans. And so they did that. But the next year, a lot of people that went out for Trump didn't go out for Trump, because Trump wasn't on the ballot. And so they either stayed home or they voted for a Democrat because that's where they lean. They lean Democratic. And so they go and they vote for the moderate Democrats. Well, if you have this year, or this coming year, 2020, if you have those same people going out, right, and they want Trump, and here's a guy that tried to impeach the dude, I'm thinking that they're going to go for who's ever going against them.
Yeah.
So I think that this is going to bite them in the butt long term.
Let's see. I think one thing I want to talk about. Well, we won't hit on it yet. So can I share I shared this to you. I sent this to you on Facebook,
right?
And you never responded back. You just saw it. And that was it.
Do you see that I see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you can't hide it. Like I didn't get it. No. It says right here.
I left you on read.
So I'm gonna read this. Tell me what's most that stands out to you. It's about the camel.
Okay.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Camel's testicles bitten by woman at Louisiana truck stop petting zoo. What sticks out to you the most right there?
Well, I just don't understand why there's a petting zoo
Okay.
at a truck stop
Okay,
first. Then of course the testicles being bitten.
right? Oh yeah, but why would you have a petting zoo at a truck stop? I mean, is there like a farm next door?
I don't know. This is weird.
Come on, Louisiana.
We have a Subway in ours.
Yeah.
They have a petting zoo in theirs.
I thought we were weird out west.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess if an animal is somehow
The sheriff was past two sheriffs in the local PD, or was that all three sheriffs?
I think it was all three sheriffs was one local PD.
Okay, so that one sheriff looked like he was doing playing the harmonica.
Yeah. But if an animal's on you, you can't move. What would be the first thing you do?
Wait, what?
If an animal is I guess the animal, the camel was on you, on the person, and she couldn't move, so she bit the camel's testicles. If that was you, what would you have done?
I wonder how her arms both down.
Could
Because
she?
I guess you could go.
Yeah, I would just smack. I mean, that's a really ballsy move.
Literally.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I would think that, I don't know, if your arm was free, you'd try to smack it. Maybe not the testicles, the leg.
Yeah, hit something else besides the. That was an interesting.
That's weird. Only in the South.
So.
Man, there are a lot of cops on the road.
Yeah, there is.
That was 4 or 5 cops. But we passed what in like 2 miles.
So, did you happen to see the new spokesperson for climate change?
Oh my gosh, that 16-year-old girl.
Yes.
Okay, that she.
She's not even American, is she?
No, she's not American.
What country is she
I
from?
don't know. She needs to go back to this one.
I guess anybody can go up there and speak at the UN.
I guess so. I know that she's like a big like leader in the climate change arena
Really?
for youth. Yeah,
Oh, for youth.
yeah, for youth.
Oh, okay. It was just awkward. I felt like they just grabbed somebody off and they're just like, "Hey, be our spokesperson."
Yeah. Well, no, I hate the fact of using a child as your spokesperson because inevitably you're going to have people going, and they actually did this. So there's a, I think his name's Michael Knowles. I think the guy's name is.
Yeah.
From Daily Wire. I think that's where he's with Shapiro, and he said that she's insane or something. And then everyone starts attacking him, like, you can't attack a child, right? So they put up this child. That's what they're saying. They put up this child to be their spokesperson, and then when you disagree with them, in his case, I didn't actually hear his clip, but if you make fun of him, well, now you're attacking him. Well, you know what? They do this to everyone.
Yeah.
If you're the spokesperson for something, or you're in the front lines, you're going to be made fun of. You're going to be ridiculed.
Yeah, just because you're a teenager and you're on the front lines of the media does not mean you're not going to get any attention.
Right. And that's the thing. I think that people that do this, they did this with that Hodge kid.
Oh, right. David Hogg or something
Yeah.
like that.
When the Parkland shooting, they put him up there, and then they acted like, look, you can't attack him because he's a kid. It's like, well, you know what? He doesn't know what he's talking about. So it should be, if you want to step into the arena of controversial subjects, then it should be, okay, then you're going to be an adult. Then you're going to be treated just like everyone else.
Yeah, if you're playing the adult level, you're going to get treated
Right.
like an adult.
Yeah, you can't just think, oh, well, I'm a kid, therefore,
I can get away with things.
yeah, I can, you're not, that disqualifies you from being able to disagree with me. Well, that's dumb. That's just dumb.
Is this the same one that it was Sarah Silverman was like, this is like, compared her to Jesus Christ?
Oh, I don't,
Did you happen to hear that one?
no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, because she spoke so highly about climate change.
I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, and there's always clips going around about how she was intently looking at President Trump when he appeared. Did you see that?
No.
She was like looking all pissed and angry. Like this death glare.
No, I hate that idea. And for something that really annoying, so they've been talking about climate change. They had a global cooling since the 1970s. Then it became global warming. Then it became climate change. I remember being in class one time, and we were talking about the Earth and talking about the different ice ages and then subsequent heat ages, and the teacher basically said he wasn't even talking about this stuff. He wasn't being political. He wasn't talking about global warming, global cooling, climate change, none of that. All he said was, every few hundred years, our planet goes through changes. And he went through the ice ages, the several ice ages that we have recorded, and everything. It's like, so, in other words, the Earth goes through stages of cooling and heating up. And really, the question is, how much of it is this current trend of heating is man-made, right? But even that, there's been like really no uptick in global averages or global temperature. You know, in some places the ice, the glaciers are melting. Some other places they're actually getting thicker. You know, so it's like,
It's very inconsistent.
yeah, and it's like this is all a bunch of crap, and it really ticks me off. Like like that Green New Deal that they like, or Ocasio Cortez, um, was big on, you know, for a while there with the cow farts and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like that would have destroyed our economy. You know, it's the whole thing just really ticks me off. And then when you throw, like I would not put. I think this is what it is. You need to be either adult about jumping into the arena, or you stay out of the arena. You can't take the ridicule and get out of the arena. But don't make it so, you can't attack the child. You know, well, if she's 16 years old, she's on, you know, in a lot of cultures. Heck, go to the Middle East, be married off.
Right. Well, and it sounds pretty weak to utilize a child for your propaganda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, do you think, stepping back onto climate change for a second, do you think going green in certain areas is not a bad idea? Do you think, like, I understand that, you know, we are hurting the environment in a lot of different ways. And I think there's some kind of ways out there that we could maybe not be so wasteful, or, you know, certain corporations or businesses can stop doing certain things that are hurting the environment. Not on a such drastic thing of regarding like cow farts and decreasing our, you know, cow population or whatever her Green Deal was regarding that. But I mean, do you think that like some of that stuff is like okay? Like it's okay to conserve or maybe use certain type of fuel instead of like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's okay to use an electric car.
Well, so I completely agree that we should move into a direction of of, um, of less fossil fuels, right? We should head into a direction of doing things. It's a cop. Of doing things. No, it's not. As one of those jerks that buys their cars from an auction that looks like a cop and never paints it. Jerks. Anyways, so yeah, I think that, like, okay, so from the Bible puts forth this idea in Genesis 2 that it is the job of humans to cultivate and take care of the environment. Like, there is a biblical mandate to take care of the environment. And at the same time, we are to multiply and increase and fill the earth. And so there's this balance that needs to be held between moving forward in our technology and being able to not destroy the environment. You know, so I do think there's a give and take that needs to happen, and the more clean burning we can become, the better. But the problem is right now in our technology, you're hurting the environment either way. So if you're going fossil fuels, right? You're polluting the environment at the beginning to get lower carbon emissions from your vehicles. right? From the, I mean, at the beginning you're not doing a lot of damage, but when you get to your vehicles, then you're doing the damage because of the exhaust.
Right.
For the electric cars, it's the opposite.
Right, we're damaging the environment to create the batteries.
Right, which saves the environment.
Right.
Yeah. So like if you go and you watch these mines, a perfect example of this, I was taking a group of teens down to Sanford this past year, and there's this one right before you come into, I think it's Globe. You are going up this hill, and as you're coming down on the other side, you just see this mountain, and it has been shredded from mining. I mean, the whole side of the mountain is gone, and that's the make a lot of this stuff. A lot of these environmental friendly technology by just destroying mountains. So it's like people can pat themselves on the back. Oh yeah, I got an electric car. I'm doing well for the environment. But in reality, you know. So I think it's more of a, if you have an electric car, you're just trying to make yourself feel better. That, oh yeah, look how good I am. And the reality is, that's more of a propping yourself up. You're so self-focused that you don't even realize that you're actually hurting the environment.
Like, look at me, I'm helping the environment.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Now, do you think companies should be like using more recycled materials? Do you think that would be? I've seen like places use like your straw is made out of 100% recyclable material.
Right.
You're like, oh, okay, well that's nice. It's using our recycled materials back into something.
Right.
Do you think maybe? I don't like the idea of big government, but what if the government was like, hey, for companies who are using a lot of recycled materials and repurposing a lot of things, we'll give you guys a tax break. We'll give you guys, an incentive to keep doing that. We'll give businesses an incentive to do more recycling.
Well, yeah.
Do you think that would be a good idea?
Well, yeah, and I think that, and that goes to a more moving away from a socialist way of doing things, where you're just like taxing people for doing the wrong thing, right? I agree. I think it should be the opposite, where it's you go to a company and say, hey, if you can meet this quota, right, this environmental quota, we'll give you, $1 million tax break on your thing, instead of saying, hey, we're going to tax you until you meet that standard.
Right.
It's negative versus positive reinforcement. It's saying, yeah, we'll give you money if you can meet this quota. And I do agree that we should be doing recycled material. Like, where we can, we should do recycled material, because that's just, it does help the environment. We don't need as much stuff. But what irks me about this whole idea of recycled material is like what's happening in California. We're in the state of California right now, because we just passed through. And when I was a kid, the big thing was paper bags, right? You always got a paper bag. But then it was, hey, you guys got to do a plastic bag, because the paper bag's cutting down all the trees. So we need to stop using paper bags so we can save the trees. Okay, so that's what everyone went to. You had to pay a little extra for that paper bag. Well, now in California, because they're so screwed up, now they got rid of the plastic bags. So you have to bring your own bag. There was a guy, I was listening to him, and they figured out how much you bringing your own bag hurts the environment more than plastic bags. It's like you have to go through like a couple thousand plastic bags to equal your bag.
Like one of those
Yeah,
like insulated
totes.
bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, insulated bags are just those totes. And so you're actually hurting the environment by not using plastic bags. You're actually hurting the environment even more without using the paper bags because you can recycle the paper bags and use them again. And by the way, we're eating Taco Bell.
That's fine.
Okay.
I was expecting that.
Okay, good. Yeah, so, and now they're doing paper straws, which they can't recycle. You know that?
Which you can't?
No, you can't recycle paper straws. You can recycle plastic straws. But you can't recycle paper straws because you can't get the food off of them. They're contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using more paper because you're going to have to make more.
So if the left was more smart about their green deals, if they were more smart about doing things more economically with becoming green, would you be interested in it?
Well,
Because
yeah.
right now it just seems like it's more ridiculous.
Well, see, I think it's all trying to be like, okay, we need to be completely off fossil fuels and we need to be completely off this stuff by 25 or whatever they want to call it. Well, the problem with that is you can't just wave a wand and say we're going to do this, right?
You can't?
Well, I mean, you can't.
No,
I can't. I just don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
So that's the problem, is they just want to be like, okay, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is you can't. If you look at our technology, how long does technology take to change? Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only been in the last 100 plus years, 150 years, 200 years, that technology has done this rapid increase. It's really the start of the Industrial Revolution, right? In the late 1800s, where it just started skyrocketing and changing like that. But this idea that, well, we can just keep changing it, and just get faster and faster. Well, yeah, we've done a lot. In fact, the United States is one of the lowest producing, environmental problems in the world. You got China and India; those are the problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there are other countries, but we're low comparatively. It's because we are making these, and if you do it incrementally, slowly, yeah,
It'll
then it's
work.
fine.
Yeah, but once you just thrust it in something,
Right.
it's just
And you're not doing things you're not really thinking through, okay, bags, or the straws. Say the straws. Okay, paper straws. Okay, well that's going to kill trees.
Mm-hmm.
Is that better than the plastic straws? Well, we can recycle plastic straws. So wouldn't that be better for the environment? Then we're not killing trees. We're using synthetic material, and we can recycle that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is okay. That is, for right now, it is the best option. When another option comes along, then we reevaluate and say, is this a better option? Okay, let's start moving. And that's where the government can step in and say, okay, if you can implement this new technology into your company, we will give you so much money as a tax incentive once you reach that goal.
Reward the good, don't punish the bad.
Right.
Regardless.
Yeah. And you can even say any new company that wants to do it needs to implement these things. So.
All right. Well, we're at Taco Bell, so we'll be right back.
Yep.